Wait, true to Kaisar. Wait. I'm a very busy man. If a transaction is to be made, then please make it quick. My name is Scrabonius Lebo Drusus, but to keep your profligate tongue from twisting, you may call me Scrabonius. I'm an administrator for the Consul Officiorum ab Famulatus, or in your words, Consul of the Offices of Slavery. I'm an administrator for the Offices of Slavery. My role here is to manage the flow of slave, both incoming and outgoing. It is for me to make the arrangements to snatch potential slaves and to work as the middleman for all transactions regarding third parties. That isn't my only job, but yes, that is a small part of what I do. While we Legion take slaves as we conquer, there is always a need for additional hands, whether they are destined to work for us or with us. Do not get ahead of yourself. Yes, I will purchase almost any capture you bring to me, but you will only be paid based on their quality. The stronger the slave, the higher the payoff. Whelps cannot handle hard labor. What makes you think they will cover the expense of a collar? You will need a slave collar, something that will ensure they get here. Without one, they aren't likely to listen to you. The matter of how you get the collar onto them is up to you. I would recommend bludgeoning your target with something blunt. A club should work. Of course, you may even try to use your words, though I'm sure not many profligates are very willing to don an explosive collar. After leashing your slave, make sure to take their weapons from them before sending them to me. An armed slave can be a headache. Yes, of course. You may choose to purchase one with caps, the tender that profligates such as yourself are all too familiar with. The collar has a GPS built into it with verbal instruction on where to go and how to get there. If they don't listen to the directions given, they will meet a swift end and become a mess that not even their kin would clean. The collar will work regardless of where you are in the world. It's the collar's range that could be considered lacking. In simple terms, the collar needs to be able to handshake with the post you're sending it to. If the collar isn't able to relay this post's transmission, then you won't be able to send a capture here. It's the post's relay that provides directions on where the collar will send the slave. Don't waste my time. I'm afraid we don't offer specific contracts. What we do offer is opera magna, a means to those who are looking to gain favor and earn caps. Opera magna, it means bulk work to those who aren't proficient in Latin tongue. It's when we delegate tasks to third-party contractors to gather a number of individuals from specific organizations and castes from the wasteland. So, you're interested in feeding our bull? Valde bene. We've got some new recruits who are eager to test their skills on live targets. And what better way to prepare them for battle than by practicing on those they'll be facing in combat? For your first bit of bulk work, how about sending NCR troopers our way? I didn't ask for rangers, did I? You can send rangers this way, but they won't count towards the bulk work. Bona fortuna. 100 caps, and it's yours. The buying price is relative to the manufacturing price. To make it anything lower than asking is a joke I will not tolerate. How embarrassing, you should work on that. Price too high, figures. True to Kaisar.
Test out the collar on that woman who sold Boone's wife to the Legion. That seems pretty simple. Sell the entire NCR to the Legion courier.
Check your fire. No.
Imagine losing a fight to a man with a baseball bat when you have an entire military on your side. You did all that crazy shit and only got vilified for battering their Brahmin? What a weak society.
Your slave catching skills are remarkable. The more slaves you bring in, the richer you'll become. Take these caps and another collar as a reward. True to Kaiser.
Courier, it has been 3 months since you tortured Kowalski. You know what to do.
What the fuck are you doing? My brother died at the Battle of Hoover Dam. You're desecrating a war memorial.
You're a little bitch, and your brother was too.
Oh, now it's on. Hey! I'm hit!
Send him to the Legion with a collar around his neck.
I've got nothing else to say to you.
The slaves keep coming. If you keep it up, you'll make a fortune. Take your caps and another collar. By Kaiser's will.
You don't look like one of the NCR's typical grunts. What brings you to the Manhunters? I'm the leader of the Manhunters, one of the most successful mercenary groups in the wasteland. Before this, I was a member of the Slavers Guild, until the NCR put an end to that, but I don't dwell on the past. I'm focused on the present, and on making sure the Manhunters are the best they can be. We've taken on some tough jobs, but we always get the job done, and we do it our way, with honor and professionalism. Well, that's because the Manhunters are one of the most renowned mercenary groups in the wasteland. Our reputation precedes us. We've taken on contracts for the NCR, various other factions, and private clients. We specialize in tracking down and capturing fugitives, and we're damn good at it. But we're not just hired guns. We have a code of honor that we follow, and we always get the job done, no matter what. Well, we've been tasked with a number of different jobs for the NCR. One of our ongoing contracts is dealing with the NCR's powder ganger mess. We've had some success in that regard, but it's an ongoing effort. We've also been hired to deal with the Fiends, a group of raiders you've no doubt had a run-in with by now. And from time to time, we've been sent after Legion, though they'd sooner take their life than risk getting captured. I'll try to tell you what I can. The Manhunters were formed after the tragic downfall of the Slavers Guild, a group that dealt in human slavery. The Guild was a powerful force, feared by many. We eventually met our end at the hands of the new California Republic and their Rangers. We, the survivors, were given a choice: reform or be destroyed. We chose to change our ways and begin again. The Manhunters were born out of that decision. We take on all kinds of jobs. We've been hired to track down fugitives, eliminate threats to settlements, and provide security for high-value targets. We're willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done, as long as it's legal. Of course, the law can be a bit of a gray area out here in the wasteland, so we're not afraid to bend the rules if necessary. Our Manhunters go through a rigorous training process that's designed to prepare them for the harsh realities of the wasteland. We train them in various combat techniques, both melee and ranged, and teach them how to use a variety of weapons, from guns to knives to explosives. But it's not just combat training. We also train our Manhunters in tracking and survival skills. We want our Manhunters to be able to handle any situation they might encounter out there. It's important that our Manhunters are not only skilled individually, but that they can also work together to achieve our goals. Discipline and focus is key. We have a strict code of conduct that every Manhunter must adhere to, and we enforce it without exception. Our members are expected to act with professionalism at all times, and any deviation from our code is met with swift and severe punishment. What's on your mind? These tattoos are part of who I am, and they tell a story. The skull on my face is a warning to anyone who might cross me. It lets people know that I'm not to be messed with. But as for the tattoo on my forehead, that's a different story. You might not know this, but it's the mark of the Slavers Guild. Every member had one. It was a way of showing our allegiance to the organization, and it was also a way of making sure that we didn't betray each other. Not many people have the Slavers Guild tattoo anymore, as most of the people who had it are either dead or had it removed. But I wear it as a reminder of where I came from and what I'm capable of. The Slavers Guild was a ruthless and brutal organization. We operated out of the Den and took to trafficking the nomads and tribals in the area. We operated with impunity in the wasteland. We had wealth, slaves, we were feared, really feared. I was one of the Guild's most effective members, and I have to admit, there are times when I miss the old ways. But the Manhunters have proven to be just as effective, if not more so, and we are still feared by many. Who said anything about being proud of atrocities? The Manhunters may have had a checkered past, but we've reformed our ways. As for the Slavers Guild, yes, we were part of it, and I'm not going to deny that some of the things we did were regrettable. But that was a different time, a different era. We've moved on from that, and we're not the same people we were back then. So don't come here and accuse us of atrocities. We've been sent to deal with the dirty work, and we're damn good at it. Yes, we have had our fair share of run-ins with other factions and groups in the wasteland. As you might expect, not everyone is a fan of what we do, and we've made some enemies over the years. We've had clashes with raider gangs, rival mercenary groups, and even some of the more law-abiding factions like the NCR and their rangers. Our Manhunters are some of the best fighters and trackers in the damn wasteland, and we're not afraid to take on anyone who gets in our way. The state of the Mojave, what do I care about that? The NCR and the Legion can fight over it for all I care. As long as it doesn't interfere with the Manhunters' operations, I couldn't care less. The Mojave isn't my home, and it's not the Manhunters either. We operate in this area, but we're not invested in its fate. It could be swallowed by a sandstorm, overrun by raiders, or face the same fate as the Divide for all I care. We have our own goals and priorities, and we'll do whatever it takes to achieve them, regardless of what happens to the Mojave or anyone else. So if the NCR comes knocking on our door, looking for help in their little war, they'll find a cold shoulder and a loaded gun. Speak. Well, I don't know about that. The Manhunters aren't just some group that anyone can join. We have a strict screening process, and we only take on those who have the skills and experience we're looking for. Besides, being a part of the Manhunters isn't just some walk in the park. It takes dedication, discipline, and a willingness to do whatever it takes to get the job done. But if you think you have what it takes, we can certainly discuss it further. Well. I'll certainly be the judge of that. So spit it out, stranger, 'cause I ain't from around here, and I sure as hell ain't got a clue about who you are. Convince me, why in the wasteland do you think you've got what it takes? Aiding the NCR and Van Graffs and ambushing the Legion shows you can work with others. That's something I look for in a recruit. What else? As a Manhunter, you've earned the freedom to go after any criminals on our list. Raiders, powder gangers, fiends, and legionnaires. These are the scourges we hunt down as the NCR's hired hands. The Mojave's fate and its chaos mean little to me. I'm here solely to get the job done. Our targets aren't assigned. Capturing any of those criminals is our primary objective as Manhunters. We're making sure the NCR's justice reaches those who thrive on lawlessness. You were just given a direction, and I expect to see results out of you if you claim to be the badass you said you were. I told you to clean your room. It's not my job to tell you the order of how you do so. Before you go, there's a personal matter I can see someone of your grit dealing with. Seeing the Legion's slave trade so close to home doesn't sit well with me. See, in my eyes, they're competition. The Slavers Guild didn't like competition, and sure, while the guild may be gone, old habits tend to die hard. I have a personal favor to ask of you. Eliminate the Legion officer, Scrabonius Lebo Drusus, leading the slave operations at Cottonwood Cove. Handle him as you see fit, whether through capture or more permanent measures. I'll make it worth your efforts, guaranteed. Because they know what they have to do. They don't go around asking me for directions or tasks. Each Manhunter is expected to handle their responsibilities without hand-holding. I'm not his pen pal. All I know is that he's the one organizing the capture of slaves and outsourcing the dirty work to freelancers. Nothing more, nothing less. My sources indicate he's holed up in one of the cabins near the center of Cottonwood. You'll likely find him overseeing the offices of slavery. I expect results. No need for further discussion. What do you want? You're gonna need a slave collar. Lucky for you, I can provide those for 100 caps a pop. Next, you're gonna need to figure out how to get that collar on your unlucky target. I'd suggest knocking them out and fastening it onto them while they're still unconscious. Something heavy and blunt should do the trick if you want to go down that route. Once they've got their shiny new necklace on, just tell them to get their ass over here if they want to keep anything above their neck. Then they'll sure as shit regret it when they're watching their body run off without their head. You see, the collars have these little voice boxes and GPSs built into them to keep track of where they are and tell them where to go. If the voice box says go left and they turn right, strike 1, and I assure you their asses will be clenched if they get to strike 2. Of course, they are priced at 100 caps each. Just remember, these collars are not to be taken lightly. They are powerful tools for ensuring compliance. Of course, our collars are top-notch, with an exceptional range that covers most of the Southwest Commonwealth, at least to a certain extent. As long as a collar can receive the transmission signals sent from one of our posts, it'll broadcast the post's directions to the target. Now, if you ever happen to stray beyond the tri-state area, chances of a collar picking up one of our post's relays are slim to none. That capture of yours made it into NCR hands. I'll add that to the tally. Here, have some caps and another collar. Thank you for taking care of that little matter for me. I can rest easier now that those disgusting tribal bastards are less of an opposing factor. Consider this a token of our appreciation. You've not only taken down Scrabonius, but also shown us that you're a force to be reckoned with. The Manhunters are lucky to have you on board.